I am Johnny Massacre and welcome to my world. Tonight, Nintendo has released a trailer for their forthcoming Donkey Kong Bananza video game for Nintendo Switch 2. I haven't seen it yet. We're going to watch it together and let's react to that live. In other news, the UK is completely and utterly doomed. We're going to cover that. And the Trumpster, the golden orange emperor of the universe, has, with his own money, launched a massive flag on the White House lawn. Who is with me? Give me a hell yeah! May your stay here be interesting. So this is Donkey Kong Bananza on the Switch 2. I have no idea what this is going to be like, so let's check it out, shall we? Right.
When the world felt so cruel and bleak, when the hole looked so dark and deep, hard as rock, cold as stone, I was scared.
Not sure about the music choice, but I mean the animations, the characters look so cool. Look at his face, bro. What's that thing on his back? Okay. They got the look right. Mate, it's like a rave, bruv. What is that? What is that purple thing?
Bananas, the discovery of the century, made right here on Ingot Isle. This is excellent news for #1 banana fan, Donkey Kong. However, just
he
as
looks
he's
proper mean, bro.
the notable bananas, a sudden tempest sends him deep down underground. As his adventure begins, DK teams up with Odd Rock, but it's no rock at all. It's actually a talented young singer named Pauline. Now, Donkey Kong just wants bananas. And Pauline wants to find a way back home to the surface. It's said that one's wish will be granted by reaching the planet core. So the unlikely duo set off on a strange subterranean...
I mean, it's clearly a DEI insert. When was there ever like a human female character with Donkey Kong? Is it not? Am I jumping the gun here? Why else would you put that into a Donkey Kong game?
Adventure.
That looks a bit like Zelda.
The story takes place in the underground world, where the scenery changes the deeper you go. Some layers are so spectacular that it's hard to believe you're underground.
It looks pretty dope.
DK can run, jump, and climb through each.
I thought he was going to say and clonk.
Using his incredible physical.
Pauline's a character in it?
Really move in any direction, but that's not all.
Okay, so hold on a minute. Apparently you rescue her in the original game, so I could be wrong. It's not a DI insert, but if I was a DI department, that would be a great excuse. There was like a girl in the first thing that no one knew about. Let's make her like let's make her a main character. But I'll let it slide. If she's in the original game, it should be all right.
In your path, you can smash, crash, and bash.
I like the way that it has very destructible environments.
You can even do this to a massive rock formation. You know, if you want. As you barrel through obstacles in your path, you'll also collect golden bananas known as Banandium gems. More on those later. Let's take a look at some of the things this Kong can do. Punch.
Mate, he's a hulking brute.
Walls. The ground. And most things you can get your hands on with incredible force. Destruction can lead to discoveries. So set off a chain reaction and see what happens. Dive punch. Unleash a powerful punch directly downward. How deep you punch into the ground depends on the strength of the terrain. Roll forward. Roll at high speed and send lighter objects soaring. Combine this with punches and jumps to really mix things up. Hand slap. Make some noise to collect scattered items or detect hidden objects using sonar. You can even use your feet when your hands are occupied. Tear off.
He looks mean as hell.
Terrain and tear it off. Or tear up turnips to find items. And even tear chunks off your foes.
Man, he's a savage.
Swing. Grab a chunk and swing it to attack.
Man, it's clonking. Okay, this is the clonk move.
Stone with ease.
There's a clonk move, I'm in.
Or smash spiky thorns. Chunk jump. Use a chunk to double jump.
This kind of looks like, it reminds me of Mario 64 in a good way.
Throw a chunk. Or aim at
It looks mental. I love smashing things and breaking things. And this has a lot of smashing things and breaking things.
If you throw chunks made of softer material, you can stick them to a surface and pile them up. Turf serve. This lets you ride on chunks. Speed up and aim for smaller enemies to knock them away. Make music. The power of Pauline's singing will help show you the way. It can also remove these strange seals that someone left.
Just smashes it, brute forces it.
You never know what you'll discover in the underground world.
Seeing quite a few frame drops here. It generally seems to hold up. It rips its face off, bro. Oh, mate, square watermelon.
The many layers of the underground world are host to a variety of inhabitants. Some are mysterious and aren't too bothered by DK.
He just smashes its face. He's a brute.
Cranky Kong and his companion Rambi are also venturing through the layers of the world. Then there are the giant elders who call the underground world home. They're said to
Bananas.
ancient Bananza powers.
Dude, this is quite cool, actually.
By learning their Bananza powers, Pauline's singing can do something special. She can make Donkey
Just make him lose his mind.
With incredible destructive power, even hard terrain poses no problem.
This is just a metaphor for how certain women can dominate your life and make you rage and control you like a puppet.
DK can transform into a zebra. He's as speedy as he is striped.
This is weird. This is weird. It's a ripped, roided zebra.
Pathways.
Zebroid.
That's the swift Zebra Bonanza.
I love the name Bonanza. Play on banana and bonanza. It's very clever.
Spread your wings and soar through the sky. You can use updrafts to gain more air.
Now he's a ripped ostrich.
Great heights to send enemies scattering. That's right, it's Ostrich Bonanza.
The sandbox is quite mad. There's so many different ways to play the level. You can surf it, you can just do it regularly, you can fly through it.
You can transform again by collecting gold to build up your banana.
Collecting gold, I'm down with that. Let's clonk it open.
When or where you transform, and you can swap between transformations. So get creative and use them as you adventure to the planet core.
This is just a Mario game with muscle, isn't it?
Standing in our hero's way is the Void Company, the mightiest mining operation both above ground and below. Grumpy Kong works to create gigantic corporate soldiers. Poppy Kong is responsible for subterranean info gathering, while Void Kong is in charge of the whole company.
Void Kong.
This nefarious crew is responsible for the banana-stealing maelstrom on Ingot Isle, and they're heading straight down to the planet core.
The planet core? But no! I'm going with DK, so you just stay away!
Voidco blocked off all the routes to the lower layers, so no one could reach them. DK and his pals will come face to face with the enemies guarding these routes, so use all the power.
Dude, is that a FromSoft style dodge I just saw there? Yeah, this feels a little bit Souls influenced, the boss. And mate, if they put that in a Nintendo game, I'm all for this.
Giant sinkholes will open, clearing a
Right, Dark Souls 2.
layers of the underground world. Found throughout the underground world are golden bananas called Banandium Gems.
Do adults actually play these games?
Sometimes they're buried in the walls, the ground,
It's meant for kids, right?
and other places.
Is it?
There are a whole bunch to find. You can also obtain these gems by completing challenges in the ruins found throughout your adventure.
Let's do this!
Challenges include time-limited battles,
Mate, the graphics are actually quite good. There's a lot of dope particle effects in this.
courses where you'll need clever solutions.
Look, okay, that's fucking dope. So the levels has some mad kind of geographical puzzle.
Keep your eyes peeled to find the Banandium Gems.
There's a lot of real-time elements that are affecting how you traverse the levels.
Give them a try.
This actually looks kind of great, doesn't it? Kind of looks great. It probably is great. It's just quite kiddie, but I mean, it's meant for kids, obviously, isn't it? So you can't really criticize it if that's who it's marketed for, but it does look pretty dope. And I just love the way he's so aggro. He just wants to crush everything.
As you collect Banandium Gems, you'll gain skill points. These can be used to increase stats such as your max health or the destructive power of your punches.
The clonking.
Power up Donkey Kong to match your playstyle. For example, if you strengthen your sonar, you'll be able to detect treasure from further away, which could lead to new discoveries. Or use skill points to learn new skills.
This looks kind of mental.
There are all sorts of items to find as you explore.
This has to get a high score when it gets released. It looks very polished already.
And they can be traded for Banandium Gems at the Chip Exchange.
And the fact they delayed it a little bit is a good sign, right? They just wanted to make sure it's completely ready, but it's not in development hell or
You
anything.
can exchange gold for useful items at the Stuff Shop.
Stuff shop.
There are fossils too.
Good one!
You can trade these for different fashions at local style shops.
Oh no, is it the gacha system?
Just open the closet and customize the perfect fits for Donkey
Right,
Kong.
they're gonna charge you for this. I can feel it.
Or even change up your fur color. No look is too much for Donkey Kong or too little. Almost every article of clothing comes with its own benefits, so mix and match your look to suit the situation.
Look at this game.
If
Fucking
you
mental,
find a
bro.
treasure chest buried in the ground, crack it open, and you might receive a treasure map.
Smash that thing open.
Location of Banandium gems or fossils. Their locations will be marked on your map. Pretty helpful for finding collectibles. You can also see which fossils and Banandium gems you've collected, making it easy to see how close you are to completion. There's plenty more to
Lots
do
of
with the
replay value.
when not adventuring. Need a rest? Carve out a space and enjoy a getaway where you can recover in bed. And enjoy listening to tunes with the music player. You might even find new discs when defeating enemies.
Interesting.
When it comes to moving between layers, subterranean eels
Mate,
have
the art style is so good. Look at
these
that.
elevators will help you easily move between layers you visited at any time. And if you get lost, no need to worry. You can always teleport within the layer you're currently exploring.
Teleport, did he say? Okay. Mate, fishy wish. Looks very cool.
In photo mode, you can freely change the in-game camera angle and adjust other settings to snap pics.
It's a pretty game. This is a good inclusion.
Photo like this or that. Unleash your inner shutterbug and create your own captivating scenes. By sharing a Joy-Con,
This is kind of a system seller, it feels like.
you and a pal can control Donkey Kong and Pauline separately to
Are you
in local co-op play. As Pauline, you can unleash vocal blasts using Joy-Con 2 mouse
Mate,
control.
this looks like easy mode, but that's cool.
Copy the material of nearby terrain to give your vocals even more texture. By working together, even tough enemies don't stand
Man,
a
he's got a
chance.
clunker. Yeah, that looks mad easy with 2-player.
This game also supports Game Share. Even if only one player has the game, they can quickly share it to another player so they can join on their own system.
Nintendo making amends for potentially bricking your console for saving your own games.
Plus, you can play online between Nintendo Switch 2 systems using Game Share via Game Chat. If you need a little help with all the platforming action, Assist Mode is the way to play. It guides you in the right direction, halves the damage you receive.
Right, that looks like Sonic Adventure, but that's what Sonic Adventure should have looked like when it came out.
Kong you can be.
Remember that with the killer whale?
Outside of the main game, there's a mode where you can carve stone using mouse controls called DK Artist. Rotate to paint. Carve material. Or add some back on.
Oh, mate, this is going to get messed up.
You can even change the lighting and add delectable banana effects. Give it a try and sculpt to your heart's content.
This is cool, dude. Wow.
This game also supports amiibo accessories. A new Donkey Kong and Pauline amiibo figure is also on the way. Scanning it unlocks Pauline's diva dress. By scanning the Donkey Kong series amiibo shown here, gold Kong tiles with explosive power will appear.
Oh,
Every
man,
other
I'm not
amiibo
sure.
released up to this point is also compatible. If you scan them, you'll get giant spheres like these.
This is such a dirty way to get you to spend money. I mean, you do get a physical object, but can't you just... That's kind of mental. You got to pay to get the secrets.
More than anything.
They're trying to make it like Disney a bit with the singing and stuff.
Maybe if we get to the surface, you and me, we can make it more than a dream.
Is that promised? It's quite an odd choice of music, but I think they're trying to make a song get to #1 in Japan or something.
Powerful Donkey Kong and the talented singer Pauline as they set out
Oh,
on
she's
an
a singer. Like, but was she always a singer?
cool.
They went, look, it's a Toblerone. They went to town with this game. It's basically got it all.
Power?
They put a photo mode in it because they know it's mad pretty. And they put a proper kind of pop ballad soundtrack in it. They're going all out with this one.
Donkey Kong Bananza.
This is probably going to, I just have a feeling.
July 17th, only on Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah, no, again,
Pre-orders are available
the
now
fact
on
they delayed it just a few months, that's kind of a good sign.
Pauline
Just a few
Amiibo
little
will
tweaks.
also be available July 17th.
I don't know. I haven't had a Nintendo console for a very, very long time. The last one I had was what was the last one I had? It was... Fuck. Well, my brother had a Wii. And that was pretty much it. I've never played the Switch. Just never really felt the urge because it's graphically not that powerful, and I like consoles with good graphical power. And it's a lot of sequels, but then every console has a lot of sequels. It's just another Mario Kart, another Mario. But the PlayStation is kind of running out of titles to pique my interest, so I'm starting to look a bit further afield now. Nintendo Switch 2, it's more expensive. Guess what? It's the biggest selling console launch of all time. So if you were hoping that it wouldn't do well just for the sake of video game companies being kept in check and reducing their prices, think again. Am I going to take the plunge on a Switch 2 to play games like this? It's just the fact it's so kiddie, it kind of puts me off. I grew up playing these games, and when you're a kid, you don't just sit there thinking, this is made for me because I'm a kid. You just absorb it. But now that I'm an adult looking at these games, I don't know, bro. It's not really for me, is it? But Mario World on the Super Nintendo is one of the greatest games of all time, in my estimation. So maybe I should give these things a chance. Maybe. What do you think of Donkey Kong Bananza? I love the name. Bananza. I think the graphics are tight. I think the character design is really, really good. Just looking at him makes me smile. Makes me want to laugh because he looks comical in a good way. And I like the way the game is based around destroying stuff. I'm obsessed with breaking things. I'm a bit of a creative and a daydreamer. And whenever I'm daydreaming, I daydream about punching holes in subway walls and just crushing cars with my bare fist. I don't know why. I just like the idea of crushing things and breaking things. So this game is kind of made for me. Donkey Kong, he thinks with his fists. He just punches everything, bruv. Even the sign, friendly anthropomorphic sign with eyes, just smashes it when he wants to read it. So I like the way he's just smashing everything. I like the way that the levels change in real time based on elemental factors. Like Donkey Kong can punch holes in things. And also there's lava or weird stuff on the floor. And you can kind of move it aside with certain powers. You can fly through the game. You can surf through the game. You can like run or roll and change into different animals. So it looks like there's a really good sandbox in this. And it has all the classic Nintendo quirks that you like big chunky objects and squares and buttons and things like that. It just looks like a Mario game with Donkey Kong in it, smashing things. So I think it looks pretty tight, man. I think it looks pretty tight. Switch 2, will I ever get a Switch 2? I don't know, but there you go. Donkey Kong Bananza coming out the end of July. I hope you liked that trailer from Nintendo. Looks like they have quite a strong lineup now. They got Mario Kart, they got Donkey Kong, they got various things. And of course, the thing which really might make me buy that console is the release of the FromSoft game, Dusk Bloods. Of course, I'm going to have to get a Switch just to play that, but that comes out next year, so I might hold off a little bit still. I'm Johnny Massacre, and if you're just joining us, we are watching the Donkey Kong Bananza trailer from Nintendo. But if you have been watching from the beginning, then stop your grinning and drop your linen, donate some cash, and let's keep winning. Streamlabs.com/Johnny Massacre. The more you donate, the more of me you're going to get. Or, alternatively, you could always... Wow, has someone donated a lot? Maybe they have. You could always become a member. If you click the $ next to the live chat, you can become a member, bruv, and you will get access to special emojis. I hope to see you lot flexing dem emojis in the comments shortly. So other news for today, whole lot of mercy. So are we going to start with the Trumpster, or are we going to start with the UK? The UK is not in a good spot. I think I'm going to save the UK till last because it's so unbelievably depressing, and I want to kind of lead with some good news and good stuff. So here we go, brothers and sisters. Let's talk about the Trumpster. The Trumpster. So the Trumpster, with his own money, paid to erect a giant flagpole on the lawn of the White House. Actually 2 flagpoles, bruv. And I just think that's freaking awesome. He did it with his own money. And when he spoke to the press that day, he was in amazing form. Like, there were so many... You know, he's like a stand-up comedian, right? And he'll just drop clip after clip that you can just watch back. He basically was just absolutely killing the press and smashing it apart, tearing it apart, bruv. So let me share with you what the Trumpster's been up to. So you can see a video of him here saluting the United States of America in front of the brand new flagpole erected on the White House lawn. It's 100 feet tall, and another one is going up on the North Lawn. So the Trumpster was killing it today.
President Trump is also now suggesting that the risk to American airmen if he orders a strike in Iran may be reduced because he describes Iran as totally defenseless right now. He went on to say he may do it, he may not do it. Right now you can see the president is saluting the flag on the South Lawn, going up for the first time, something that will be there for a long time. John.
Yeah, it was quite a ceremony this morning as they put up the flagpole. Let's see if we can pick up some of the ambient audio here.
It's a small gesture, but it's just win after win after win with Trump. Whether he's winning wars, making the economy amazing, making America great again, dismantling communism and DEI, or just putting up a symbol of freedom on the White House lawn for all these optics, paying with his own money. He just cannot stop winning. I love the Trumpster. Look how proud he looks. The Trumpster with a yellow tie.
Idaho Senator Jim Risch, the microphones are just...
Don't you feel safe with this guy at the wheel of America? Don't you feel you can breathe a sigh of relief? The adults are back in the room.
100 feet high, Sandra, and
look,
very soon we are going to see the same thing on the North Lawn of the White House. Up until now, the only...
Mate, that's such a boss move. My flag that I paid for the American peeps, stick it right in front of the White House. You'll never be able to look at the White House again without seeing Donald Trump's massive pole, bruv. So I thought that was wicked by the Trumpster. So when the press was interviewing him and he put on his cap, this must be his funny cap because he came out with so many hilarious comments. Here is Trump talking about how he can't use the word erection. Excuse me, erection, because you'll get in trouble. Erected, because you get in trouble for it.
Have a good, they call it a lifting. They also use another word, but I'm not going to use that word. You know what that is? The word, it starts with an E. You know what the word is? If I ever used it, I'd be run out of town by you people. All right, so enjoy it. Doug, you're going to get some good. He's going to win another Nobel Prize, I think, for this picture. So maybe the flag will be even more exciting. But this is pretty exciting. That's some equipment, I'll tell you what. Let's have a good, they call it a lifting. They also use another word, but I'm not going to use that word.
They call it lifting. They also use another word, but I'm not going to use that word. So Trump is actually talking about erecting the flag. So I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And then you got Trump here talking about how much money the United States of America is making. I like this clip as well very much.
It's a shame. This guy, I have a guy. Do you ever have a guy that's not a smart person and you're dealing with him and you have to deal? He's not a smart guy. He's worried about inflation. I said, that's right. If there's inflation in 6 months or 9 months, you lower the rates or you raise the rates. You can do whatever you want, Brian, right? So let's say there's rampant inflation, which there's none. You know what there is success. I got a call from Congress last night. Sir, there's a problem. I said, what is it? Money is pouring in. We don't know how to account for it. I said, check the tariffs. $88 billion came in from tariffs. No inflation. And it's going to get even more so. I know what I'm doing. So we have a stupid person, frankly, at the Fed. He probably won't cut today. Europe had 10 cuts.
Ripping Powell at the Fed. I just love the Trump stuff. I know what I'm doing. He's in the flow state. He is in the flow state. Now, another video came out of this PR opportunity from Trump paying for an American flag on a massive flagpole that he erected on the White House lawn. What a boss move. The quote is, Trump said, I was the hunted and now I'm the hunter, and everyone is clipping this. Even the White House accounts are dropping this. This is just such a vintage Trump off the cuff ad lib, and it's so goddamn tasty. Why? You let me know what you think. Check it out.
What gave you the idea to do this?
I've had it for a long time. In the first term I had it, but you know, you guys were after me. I said I had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. It's a big difference. Big difference.
Bro, I was the hunted and now I'm the hunter. He certainly is, mate. The Trumpster back in the White House, and I am here for this. Trump also took time to rip CNN, of course.
There's a split,
fake
though.
news. Fortunately, nobody watches.
But my question
Is anybody watching CNN nowadays? I haven't seen it in a long time.
But some of your supporters are wary of the
Right,
US.
Trump. Man, you take this guy for granted. Don't take it for granted, because when he's gone, he's gone. We're never going to have a guy like this ever again. It's too fucking good. So Trump's approval rating is awesome right now. It's absolutely awesome. Whopping 56% nationwide. So just all around a really, really good day for the Trumpster. And lest I remind you, he's doing a really good job. He has absolutely crushed all the border crossings. So the Biden admin made it seem as if there was nothing they could do to stop illegal immigration. But because Trump has completely flatlined immigration, it shows you that the previous administration, the Biden administration, was allowing illegals into the country on purpose. So these are the facts. According to Border Patrol, 62,000 migrants, illegals, were allowed into the USA in May 2024. But this year, May 2025, 0. So Trump has basically done what he was mandated to do, stop all the illegal voters coming into the USA. So well done, Trump, for that. You can see numbers here showing you how ridiculously low the amount of border crossings and border encounters have been since Trump took office. As soon as he came in, they're absolutely flatlined. We've gone from 250,000, 200,000 a month, or even 300,000 to basically 0. So even if Trump's presidency were to end tomorrow, as long as this keeps going, I think he's already paid back his voters and then some. And it just goes to show you that the plan from Democrats all along was to bring in illegals. They literally want to give them citizenship, so they will vote for the left and they'll vote for benefits. They're essentially voting for socialism. So thank God Trump got in the mix and stopped them. Essentially what they're trying to do to America is what they have done to the UK. They have brought in so many migrants that now the migrants will vote for a leftist socialist every time he'll give them benefits. For example, in London, right now there's a population of 4 million Muslims, perhaps even 6 million, making over 6.5% of the London population. It's no surprise then that the London mayor is a Muslim guy who's been voted in for more than 10 years and he's destroying the city. That's what they want to do in America. They want to import a new voting bloc who'll vote for them every single time, even if it destroys their country. So, my friends, it's quite the turnaround, because do you remember Pride Month last year? They besmirched the White House with a rainbow flag. This year, the American flag is back, baby. So what a turnaround. Look at the optics. The one on the left, horrible, depressing, divisive, communist flag. And on the right, a flag that we can all identify with. We can all get behind, regardless of what we look like. Isn't that amazing? The Trumpster with his self-funded flag on the White House lawn. And speaking of pride and rainbow flags, according to Breitbart, NY Pride is pleading for cash donations as corporate donors flee. You haven't really heard that much about it this year, have you? It turns out that Pride in NY is not the only organization who is feeling the squeeze. The DNC, apparently, according to New York Times, is in chaos and desperate for cash. So on social media, lots of people are speculating that because Elon Musk and Doge uncovered the fraud in USAID that was funding all of these different kind of radical groups at home and abroad, and that funding drying up, then suddenly the DNC doesn't have any money, and suddenly Pride doesn't have any money. Wow, it's almost as if these destructive Marxist groups of the left are actually funded by you, even if you're voting Republican in America. Just amazing stuff. So it's time to go on over to the UK, and the UK is completely and utterly screwed. So what just happened in the UK? The UK just passed a law saying you can abort a baby up until the day before it is born. So once the baby comes out of the womb, you cannot terminate it. But at any point until it comes out of the womb, you can terminate it. That means that if you have a baby that looks like this, the day before that happened, you are now allowed to terminate that baby. If the baby looks like this, it's a 34-week-old baby outside the womb. If it looks like that, but it hasn't been born yet, the UK will now kill your baby. Now, this is just insane. Even if you're pro-abortion, surely you've got to be a real fringe to look someone in the eye, or even that child in the eye, and say, yeah, you can abort that as long as it's still in the womb. I mean, that's what's happening in the UK. It appeared to me that Canada was the ground zero for wacky, anti-human progressive policies, but now it looks like UK has taken its place. The UK is completely compromised by this weird, satanic, Marxist, globalist ideology. It's everywhere. It's throughout the whole judicial system. It's throughout the whole of the media. It's throughout the left and right, the equivalent of America's Republican Party, the Conservatives. It's in them as well. They were just in power. They pushed for net zero and all this woke stuff as well. It's in the transport system. It's absolutely everywhere. And this is just another part of it. And UK is in an exponential downward spiral. So they just passed a law saying you can kill the baby up until the day before it is born. Now, I grew up a liberal all my life, so I've been inculcated with this nihilistic, godless ideology. So I support abortion, and I support it for the reason that everybody supports it, but everyone's afraid to say, and they've rebranded it into this weird virtue signaling thing, like it's protecting a woman's body, even though a baby is not a part of a woman's body. The umbilical cord, you could argue, is, but not the baby. And people just want to abort babies in case they have an accident and they knock up a girl and they want to get rid of it. As women are the same, you know, in case they have an accident, they want to get rid of it. There's an easy way to stop this. It's just don't shag random people who are going to nut in you. That's the easy way to stop it. That's why people want abortion, to rebrand it into something like this, something to be proud of. And empowerment is just completely insane. Like, what are you proud of? You let some random knock you up by mistake. That means you let randoms have sex with you, and then you can't take responsibility for what you did, so you just want to kill the thing. So I support it because I'm okay with that, because I grew up as a liberal and it's inculcated into me. Hey, I'm not perfect. I'm working on it. But I think it's totally wrong. But even someone like me would not agree that is ready to be terminated a day before it. I mean, that, even if you're hyper pro-abortion, surely not. So obviously, all the pro-abortion people out there cheering and saying this is a great day for women. It's a great day. How it's a great day for women, but it's a really bad day for this kid. It's a really super bad day. Just crazy stuff. So that's happening in the UK. I just could not believe what I was seeing there. And it was massively voted in, even though apparently, according to polls by The Spectator, just 3% of women back this amendment. Just 3%. This is the very definition of democracy, right? Like, no one voted for mass immigration, even people on the left. No one wanted to terminate babies that are basically fully formed. They're going to do it anyways. Yeah, total democracy that we're living in the United Kingdom. Lots of people are reacting to this. Connor Tomlinson on X says, this time in British history will be looked back upon like the Aztec Empire. Our political class have cheered on the mutilation of women, their dismemberment and murder in the womb. Mutilation of children, their dismemberment and murder in the womb, and offered them up as sacrifices to appease the false god of multiculturalism. Unconscionable. So you want to see how many people voted for this crazy abortion law? Yes, 379. No, 137. So basically, 2/3 of people who voted to terminate babies until a day before they're actually born. 2/3 vote for that in the UK. UK on so many fronts is screwed, and you're seeing an exponential downward spiral. The more it goes down, the deeper and quicker it starts to occur. So I'm very happy that I live in Japan. I really am, and I know that I made the right choice. 379 members of parliament in the UK voted to remove the right to life from healthy full-term unborn children. Absolutely bonkers. Although only 1% of the British public supports it, according to Henry Bolton on X. One of the people who is responsible for overseeing this policy apparently is a Labour MP known as Tonya Antoniazzi. And this thing introduced the amendment to remove criminal penalties for women seeking abortions up until a day before they're aborted. So this is the person who apparently is behind this legislation. And it doesn't surprise me at all, because let's be real, I don't think that is a woman. I really don't, but it kind of looks... So this is what's happening in the UK, bro. And if you put people like this, who you can't criticize, lest you be cancelled and arrested for wrong thing, which can and will happen in the UK, then people like this are going to be put behind the UK's most controversial decisions to operate with impunity. This is the actual state of the UK. You talk about Hitler and his gang of thugs infiltrating the Reichstag by hook or by crook. These people just slid in there, mate. We fucking held the door open for them. So this is what is happening in the UK. Under British law, babies like this could have been aborted yesterday. Absolutely wild. Dark times we're living in, people. So that makes this story very interesting. There's a picture of a woman called Sarah Catt. And she was jailed for 8 years, 13 years ago in 2012, for aborting her healthy baby at 39 weeks. So her husband would not find out it was the result of an affair. But now, this thing that only 13 years ago would put you in jail for at least 8 years is totally legal. How about that? How about that? And if you look at this news against the backdrop of fertility across the Western world, you are seeing an absolute implosion of Western culture. The West is going to die out if it keeps going this way. The UK already had one of the worst population replacement rates in the world, especially in London. And now, the few babies that we have, you can get rid of it the day before they are born, all the while importing millions and millions and millions of third world migrants. Nothing to see here at all. What do you call that? I'm sure you know. I don't know what it's called. I'm sure you know, though, brothers and sisters. So, the UK, the news gets better and better. So, apparently, according to City AM, Massacre mates, the average wealth in Britain fell the second most of any major economy in 2024. I kid you not. According to a closely followed global study, piling fresh scrutiny on the country's battle to stem an exodus of its wealthiest residents and kickstart its flagging economy. So you might be aware of the fact that more billionaires left the UK and millionaires than at any point in its history recently, when Labour came to power and started implementing these crazy kind of socialist policies that we're touching upon today. According to USBS's annual wealth report, mean household wealth in Britain fell 3.6% over the course of the year, reversing a trend of healthy growth, which has seen it swell by over 6% since the start of the decade. The only country that eclipsed the UK household's wealth drop was crisis-ridden Turkey, which is in the grips of a self-inflicted economic crisis. So in the UK, the Labour government is a socialist government, so they want to spend your money instead of asking you to just make money and you make the money for the economy. So they're taxing more and more and more. But of course, they don't know about any business because none of them are self-made millionaires or businessmen or businesswomen. And they're full of DEI hires, which is just based upon someone's immutable characteristics. So they're just taking all your money and they don't know what to do with it. They're wasting it and they're using it. They're taking money from you, productive people, and they're giving it to people who come as refugees who have no incentive to work. So if you're going to take all the money from hardworking, productive people and you're going to give it to these refugees who are basically not going to work and are a net drain on the system, and you're going to attack big business and say big business bad, and tax them more, and therefore all big businesses leave because that's part of your socialist narrative to justify getting these voters who are basically lazy other mate ucker phase, then you're going to see what's happening now. Wages going down, wealth going down, millionaires leaving, and still migrants will come because it's still a million times better than the it-hole shade that they're coming from. But the UK is in real trouble. Abortions now available until the day before birth, and average wealth just fell in Britain, the second most of any major economy in 2024, second only to economic powerhouse Turkey. Okay? That's going on in England. You want to see how bad the situation is in socialist England? IngSoc rubbing their palms together. Well, here's a graph from the Adam Smith Institute, and it shows the change in share of population who are millionaires 2023 to 2028. So UK has the absolute worst statistics of all the countries on the list, including Kazakhstan. Yeah, you could have like 2 millionaires in Kazakhstan and it will skew the figures. But still, this is a telling graph because England has minus 20% for its share of the population who are millionaires. 2023 to 2028. England is imploding and it's just come out of nowhere, bro. It's come out of nowhere. So not looking good for the UK right now. And I mean, just take a cursory glance on X at why this is happening. I mean, here's a dude who works in a British city called Bradford, and he's a politician, and he's admitted that over 40,000 people in Bradford are on disabled benefits. This guy is called Imran Hussain, the MP, and he says we should fund support through a 2% wealth tax on the super rich. So the socialists who are giving money away to the oppressed class in exchange for votes are trying to put more taxes on the evil landowners. Dude, I'm reading a book by De Kuyper about the Chinese Revolution, and this is exactly the same playbook that Mao made. He demonized any of the landowners, and he had a quota of landowners to go out and kill to redistribute their stuff to the poor people in exchange for their loyalty and votes. It's exactly what's happening in the UK across the board. It's in the throes of cultural Marxism. The UK is now a Marxist paradise. It's a racist place. For example, Transport for London, the people who manage the trains and the tubes and stuff like that. Here's an advert for a job for Transport London, recently taken. You can see on X. It says, what you'll need to apply, you must be of black, Asian and minority ethnic background, defined as having some African, Afro-Caribbean, Asian or other non-white heritage. So the only people who think like that are Marxists, leftists. Leftism is absolutely everywhere. They look after their own and they will destroy anyone who's not part of their cult. England is £2.7 trillion in debt, and it has increased by almost 1 trillion since 2020. A million seconds ago was the 5th of June. A billion seconds ago was 1993. A trillion seconds ago was 30,000 BC, and England has added £1 trillion onto its debt since 2020, with a total of 2.7 trillion in debt. Nearly more than a third of Britain's total debt has been added in the last 5 years alone. Inflation is rising, bond yields are increasing, the debt is becoming unsustainable. Migrants are coming in at literally record numbers right now into the United Kingdom. You can abort your babies a day before they're even born. You can and will be arrested for things that you say on Facebook. If you go and batter someone and assault someone, or even ape race someone, you often will get less of a penalty than using hurty words online. These are all facts you can go and check out and confirm for yourself. It's not looking good. On top of that, have to be careful here. There is the ape Ray Oomingray Angay scandal in the UK, where for a period of 2 decades or more, loads of Pakistani pay migrant maids were aping Ray underage Itway Earl gays, and every single person who tried to shine light on this was attacked and often was arrested and investigated themselves. Elon Musk was the one who made this truly mainstream globally by attacking some kind of smug British politician who's covering it up and said, what about the ape ray of these Unye Itway Earl gays by Pakistani pay migrant maids? And at every step of the way, the UK government literally came out and said anyone who talks about it is jumping on the far-right bandwagon. And finally, there's so much pressure. Now, even the leftist Labour government, who covered it up in order to get votes from that community, who are now very substantial, the new voting bloc, even the Labour government have finally admitted they're going to do an investigation. So it's actually popping off in the UK, and this is going to get buck wild crazy. This investigation is so insane. Recently, there were these fake stats put out that only took a very small cross-section of perpetrators. They tried to say that it wasn't this particular demographic who was aping Ray, this demographic. But now everyone, even the most left-wing person in government, is coming out and saying they're fully behind this inquiry, when for years it was covered up. And people, as I said, who tried to shine light on it and expose it were often investigated themselves, showing there's a deep level of rot and corruption within the very system, within the judicial system. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. If you want to, some of the people who covered it up was the UK Home Office. Do you want to see what the UK Home Office actually looks like. This is so wild. If I can find this, it's going to blow your mind. Okay, so this is the UK Home Office. These are some of the people who denied that there was a disproportionate amount of ape rays committed by a certain demographic day. That is what the Home Office looks like. UK is actually kind of changed, like it's changing, dude. And we've got a different set of people in charge to who founded the country. It's looking really grim right now for the UK. So in Parliament, those people, the Home Office, just made a post on X and they said, "We will leave no stone unturned in the pursuit of truth for victims and survivors of Ooming Grey Angays." Finally, they're admitting it after all this time. Omite Obinson-Ray went to ALJ for about a year and a half. It was actually for something else, but they basically targeted him because he was the one who started exposing this. Is he going to get an apology? Home Office in the UK says, today Home Secretary Yvette Cooper accepted all of Baroness Casey's recommendations to deliver justice for them. So now, like, these kind of DEI feminists who covered this up in order to get votes are coming out with their toxic femininity and finally admitting there's going to be an investigation when there's so much public pressure they have to.
Baroness Casey sets out 12 recommendations for change. We will take action on all of them immediately because we cannot afford more wasted years. So we will introduce new laws to protect children and support victims so they stop being blamed for the appalling crimes committed against them. New major police operations.
This is the left-wing government who's actually coming out and saying this now. So it's actually a thing now. And there's loads of comments about this on X. And the main thing that's doing the rounds is this picture of all the diversity hires. Like, all these women were hired by Labour basically because of their immutable characteristics. And that's what you get. You just get some lazy nonsense and they just have to do as they're told. And Tim Davies on X says, female empathy has a lot to answer for. Bring back toxic masculinity. Referencing a post by Lord Talbot that says, the downfall of the UK in one picture. They let it happen. Look at these horrible people that they've got in charge now in the UK. Empower women. They throw little girls to foreigners as ape ray oites, lie about it, laugh about it. So during this inquiry, one of these left-wing hags, look at them. They don't even look like, they just look like lizard people. One of them was laughing on her when she was looking at her phone. See if I can find that video. I might have lost it, but she was looking down at her phone. This is it. So look, this is during the hearing on like the ape ray gangs, and she looks at her phone, Jess Phillips, and she's basically in charge of this stuff. She looks at her phone and starts grinning, starts smirking. Here it is, look.
Changes to protect children for the future as well. That includes changes in social services. It includes changes in policing.
Bro, like I just can't. If you want to know how crazy the situation is with these ape rays, this is real, like I read this even in the Guardian, most left-wing covering up paper of all time. They actually wrote one of the accounts of what happened to one of these girls. And there's a video here. I don't even know if I can play it because it's so brutal. It's so brutal, but I remember what it was. It goes something like this. So a girl is going home and she gets actually arrested, May, in an aviard grey. So she goes to the police to report it. While she's in the police station, she's accosted by two Pakistani pay men, taken out of the police station and then aped Ray. And then she's basically set free from her captors. And on her way home, she doesn't know where she is. She's offered a lift by another guy from that demographic. And then that guy takes her back to his place and she's aped Ray by him and several of his mates. And then let go. And I think she might have even been aped Ray again, all on the same evening. And now even the left and Labour, they're coming out and admitting all of these ape rays were disproportionately by this demographic against this demographic. The truth is the truth is the truth is the truth, and all we deserve is the truth. And the UK covered this up relentlessly, tooth and nail, for a long time. So I can only conclude that Britain has surpassed Canada as the West's most deranged and dystopian nation. It's absolutely crazy down there. And guess what? This investigation into these Ooming Grey Angays, these apis rays, will not spread to the politicians themselves. It will not be done amid the politicians, which is absolutely crazy. So it's basically not a full inquiry. The politicians are exempt from the national inquiry into the Ooming Grey Angays, and that's according to GB News. If you complain about any of this kind of stuff, if you get angry and you say something on social media this is what will happen to you. This is a real judge in the UK sentencing someone for a Facebook post to 20 months in jail.
Went on to say that you did not want your money going to immigrants who, quote, rape our kids and get priority, end quote. This offence is so serious that an immediate custodial sentence is unavoidable. Would you stand, please? The sentence that I pass has been reduced by 1/3 to reflect your guilty plea. The sentence is one of 20 months imprisonment. Went on to say that you did not want your money.
Bro, 20 months in prison for a Facebook post. Absolutely crazy. The Facebook post in question, though, you could argue was a call to violence because it said, it was by a guy called Jordan Parler, and it led to his 20-month prison sentence. And it included a statement suggesting that, quote, every man and his dog should target the Britannia Hotel in Seacroft, Leeds, where migrants were housed. So he said that. It's not a smart post to make, but 20 months in jail, and there's a litany of examples online of FUG rays, aping ray algaes, and getting out of Is and Pray, or not even going to Is and Pray, or getting out after about a month or something like that. And there is so much now coming out on social media about people who denied the Umin Grey Angays, the apist rays, in the Akistani Pay community for a long time. Here's a post from the Metro, a really terrible free newspaper that's basically trash. It's trash that ends up littering the floor at the end of the night because it's given out for free. And it has a headline saying, the majority of actual say offenders are Aitwe Enme. There is no Uslim May Oblim Pray with actual say Umin Grey. And that's by obviously someone who's an Uslim May themselves. So these are the kind of headlines we've had for ages. Are any of these people going to be held to account in a manner that that judge held that guy to account for what he said, what he was calling out those things that those people said didn't exist? Should you just be quiet when these things are going on in your community? Should you just take it? New voters, a new voting bloc that you're essentially funding more important than the lives of young girls? I don't know, mate. Politics and power. What a deadly combination. What a deadly combination. Industrial scale cover-up of ape ray and trafficking of vulnerable young Aitwe English girls. And I would say personally that covering that up is way, 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 way worse than being racist. So, the mayor of London, who's actually part of that demographic, here's a quote from him where he asks Home Secretary to apologise to Akistani Pays over ex-say Umin Grey attack. He basically denied this was happening, and there's plenty of footage online where people try to pull him up on it and he won't even dignify them with a response. That guy is the mayor of London. Is he going to apologise for this? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. That guy just got knighted. He always talks about diversity, equity and inclusion. He presided over the flooding of London to the point where Aitwe Itishbray people represent less than half of London's population. We are a minority in our own city. This guy presided over it. And he didn't mention anything about these Umin Grey Angays and all these ape rays that had taken place regarding these Ungye Aitwe Algays. He just got knighted. Do you want to see how fucked my country is? Take a good look, Take a good look. Even the royal family coming out espousing this Oakway nonsense. Absolutely cray-cray. The BBC consistently had these kind of propaganda shows. The British people are really, really good at putting out false facts and feigning outrage and trying to weave a narrative that's completely counter to what's really going on. And when people try to discuss this on TV channels such as the Beta Boys Club, BBC, they were gaslit. For example,
I know it's probably an unpopular view, but
I completely agree that in some areas, largely, ape rape is committed by Uslim Mays. And then the audience like boos and everyone kind of puts her down and says this is racist Ray. When actually now, even the left Labour are admitting this has happened. It's crazy. So what is the government going to do to stop it? You're going to find out the details very soon, and the word is online that it's disproportionately Asylum A Ika says, we're going to have to wait and see. In spite of all of this, a huge petition to stop asylum seeker benefits signed by 380,000 people in the UK has been ignored by UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. So it's just, dude, it's just the stats this week are the highest amounts of refugees we've ever had. And all of the problems this causes in terms of economics and social instability and division, social cohesion, economy, inflation, housing, like all of this, and it's ramping up. It is ramping up. And you see this pattern with other countries where it's no one wants it. Even most people on the left don't want it. Nobody votes for it, but it just goes through anyways. Of course it's going to happen if no one's going to say anything about it. I'm doing my best here, guys. I'm doing my best, but it's just insane that this happens in broad daylight and without any pushback or any kind of riot raise or anything like that. So, in good news for today, the Supreme Court in America has given the green light for the entire country to ban puberty blockers and hormone treatments for transgender tray children. So that's it, your 6-3 Supreme Court. Guess who voted? The three who voted to allow to mutilate children. Yes, yes, and yes. Basically, the three hardcore female liberal justices. But that's a great day for America. Of course, all the leftists came out with exactly the same copy-paste X posts, again suggesting all these progressives on the left, they just take orders from somebody, slightly rewording it with probably ChatGPT, presumably Chuck Schumer, Elizabeth Warren as well. Nearly an identical post. Chuck Schumer said, Republicans' cruel crusade against ANS tray kids is an attempt to divert attention from ripping healthcare away from millions of Americans. Stephen Miller holds him to account next and says the Senate Democrat leader declares that his party wants to castrate, amputate, and sexually mutilate healthy young children. Of course, using the euphemism healthcare. Mary Miller, representative, says 25% of sex change surgeries are paid for by Medicaid. The one big beautiful bill ends taxpayer-funded gender mutilation. It's common sense, she says. So, Supreme Court ruling against giving chemical castration drugs and mutilating minors, and also the big beautiful bill coming in, double whammy, to put pay to the Ku Klux Klans's domination plans, their communist domination plans. So quite a good day for America, all in all, I would say. If you want to know why people in the UK are so upset about these refugees and stuff, here's a stat from GB News that says Afghans are 22% more likely, Eritreans 20% more likely to commit actual say I'm crazed than the Brits. Lord Glasman backs Nigel Farage's call for military action in the Channel to stop the mass migration and says this is a national security emergency. Katie Lamb, Member of Parliament, says the British people have had enough. And if you want to look at in the UK, source Ministry of Freedom information request, the national groups convicted of actual say offences the most is number 1 with 100, and followed by Romania, Poland, Pakistan Pay, Afghanistan, Nigeria, Sudan, Bangladesh Pay, Portugal, and Iran. If you want to look at how much mass migration has increased since January 2020, it's gone from something like 100,000 a year to 1 million a year. And that started happening under the right wing in the UK. You want to see how fucked the UK is? The equivalent of the Trump administration oversaw this much migration. Doesn't matter who you vote for, bro. You're going to get the foreigners coming in. Rupert Lowe MP gives us more information why people are so upset about mass migration beyond the fact that it destroys infrastructure, makes housing prices go up, and raises inflation. And I'm Cray. He's referencing a stat from Centre for Migration Control regarding the UK that says up to a third of actual say assaults committed by migrant maids in 2024. Research by the Centre of Migration Control shows that foreign nationals accounted for up to 34% of convictions for actual say assault on an email fay last year. These are the facts. They're not very nice, but they are what they are. You've even got The Guardian running headlines like this saying asylum seekers behind new Oomin Grey and gay cases. This is the most hard left newspaper in the whole of the UK. It's not underground anymore. So you're going to find out all about these gangs very, very soon, and a lot of heads hopefully will roll, but I will not bet on it. Every part of the establishment now is admitting that the Ape Ray and gay scandal is real, and essentially they traded Ape Rays for votes. They covered it up because they wanted votes from the community in which those ape raids were taking place. So the UK is, I've been waiting to make an episode about the downfall of the UK. There's so much going on, but it really is, that's it now. Like when I saw that abortion thing and the gang scandal thing and the migrant number things and the record migrants this week, it's all over. In slightly better news, according to the Economic Times, in India of all places, India coming good at the end, YouTube has loosened content rules, says freedom of expression can outweigh harm. Controversial videos may return. So apparently YouTube has updated its content moderation policies, now permitting videos that might technically violate guidelines if they're deemed to be in public interest, mirroring similar moves by Meta. The new guidelines instruct moderators to consider the public interest value of content, especially concerning topics like elections, race, and health, before removing it. So I won't hold my breath for this, but according to Economic Times of India, before the update, videos were typically taken down to 25% or more of the content violated policy, and now that threshold has doubled to 50%. So you can have twice the amount of wrongthink, but your wrongthink has to be half the total length of your video. How long have I been talking today? Better get out of here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. We reacted to Nintendo's new Donkey Kong Bananza game on the Nintendo Switch 2, and we also brought you some news about the current affairs of the Trumpster, the Golden Orange Emperor, Donald Trump, and him erecting 2 giant flagpoles around the White House, brandishing the American flag. Wicked. And Trump being on great form with a lot of zingers in his press conference. And of course, the downfall of the UK, the new abortion laws, the insane amounts of migration, the migrant may ape ray angays finally being subject to an investigation, and basically the downfall of my country. But it's okay, because in the end the truth does come out, and we will not let these people get away with it. And if the communists with a small group can take over China with their backs against the wall in Manchuria, just because an American official tells Chiang Kai-shek to let up for a couple of months, then the Brits can take their country back too, and then some. So if you enjoyed tonight's episode, please consider donating on the links to the right of my head, or via the dollar symbol next to the chat box on YouTube. Much love, everyone. Good night. Take care.